All right, so at the count of 3, we are going to press play. 1, 2, 3.
I have to say, I think it's a tie for me between Snatch Game and this episode, which is my favorite of this season.
I'm so sad. He's gone. Poor Laganja. Yeah, that's the moment that came out in Untucked. About Trinity and her HIV diagnosis.
Uh-oh.
Darian's so salty.
I kind of love it because I've been waiting for Darian to sort of. I mean, I'm hoping that this is Darian's like episode to sort of step into the limelight.
Trina! Steve!
They're like some of my favorite guest
I'm
judges.
dying.
It's so
Yes.
great.
I apologize if y'all had headphones when I screamed.
This is what I've been waiting for.
Yeah, I love the reads.
Rue's suit looks like a boat captain.
That made me laugh.
The modem sound.
I know, I love that they added
That's
that sound effect.
that is a very that was a very heady joke, but yikes.
Yeah, that was awkward.
Yeah, that was not good.
Oh, for
I
the
say that all
love.
the time. I love that
For the
line so
love.
much.
I was watching the wrong damn episode.
Oh, Kendra, no.
I was like, what are they talking about? And now I know who gets eliminated on this episode. Oh my God. What is wrong with me?
Oh my god. That was my favorite.
That's a really great. It was a great joke.
Darian's was my favorite, hands down.
Yeah,
I
I,
think
I
Yeah,
stole
I
the
totally deserved.
Russian nesting dolls one, and I use
Yes,
they
that
were
all the
so
time.
great.
that was so good.
Yes, it was.
Can somebody give me a timestamp? Because the timer on the app isn't working.
8:12.
Thank you.
That's a stacked team.
Does anyone on the couch right now think that they could have read, like, come up with reads as quickly? I don't think I could have.
No, I think I'd be so
No,
bad at it.
Oh, reading? Oh, I'm terrible at it. Terrible.
I
I would
mean,
be so bad.
I don't think I could do it. I mean, I can be horrifically like insulting, but and cut to the quick, but that's not the same thing.
Yeah, I can't be mean and witty at the same time. Well, I can when I write. I like Rory almost, but I can't just talk.
I mean, it depends on what you're talking about, but I mean, yeah, not 90s rap is I wouldn't really classify it as the sort of boy band thing that Laganja is doing.
Yeah, like choreographed. No, that's not how it goes.
I also love that they use the "Oh no, she Betta don't" as the title of the episode because I love that line.
I'm very curious to hear what even the show producers classify as 90s rap. That's the thing I'm most curious about.
I'm like squinting and at a loss for words. I'm scared.
Yeah, I'm scared.
That was
That was
great.
just so
I'll
ridiculous.
stab a bitch.
I don't know what to say.
Love a door. I like when a door is feeling herself, like
Yeah,
when she's in her element.
when Adora is so oblivious to herself, but in the most amazing way. Definitely, definitely a wonderful addition to this show. That is for sure.
I really love her.
Oh yes, Trinity, come on.
Oh, Dela is so awkward.
Hey, Dela, this is the challenge that Dela falls flat.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm running a little bit late. Can you give me a timestamp?
12:34.
Ooh,
Wow.
shots fired.
Oof.
I'm loving Darian.
Darian has a point, right? If you
Yeah,
think 90s rapstress, you don't really think Bette de la Creme.
I'm convinced that this is gonna be more 80s.
These how I'm dying these out.
Yeah, like what kind of 90s rap are they trying to do? I'm so confused. This is not 90s rap to me
No,
at
this is
all.
like young MC type stuff.
Yes.
This is 80s.
Yeah.
Like they need some like Far Side, some Tribe Called Quest. They need to like that. There's nothing about this that even is
Okay.
remotely 90s.
Does anyone else feel like Bianca looks like the girl from Big Comfy Couch?
Yes.
Adore. Adore has such a nice smile.
Yikes. Learn your lines.
That you
I'm
wrote
not
yourself.
getting I'm not getting 90s rap vibe from the way she's dressed, but I do love those boots.
They remind me of Spice Girls, though.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Very
Oh, I
much,
guess that.
yes.
Yeah, you're right. I guess you could sort of, if you want to say like more kind of like pop,
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
she needs to be
pop
singing
group
If You Wanna Be
bands,
Part
then
of.
yes, I guess it's technically 90s. It's just the style of it. The like rap style is just not at all. But oh geez. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Who? Oh,
I mean, Darian looks amazing. I will say that.
Very Missy Elliott.
Yes, yes.
dare you remind me of the blonde chick from the it was the first rap song on VH1. What was it? Is I can't think of the name of it now. I'm gonna have to
What?
look it up.
What context? What? I'm curious.
The way Darian was rapping reminded me of someone, and I can't get it out of my head now. I'll have to.
She looked like Missy Elliott.
I actually feel really good about this group. The underdog. Uh-oh.
Oh, it's
Okay.
so cringy.
Scratch
You
that.
sure? You
You
sure,
wanna
Sean? What
change
were you saying,
your
Sean?
Scratch that. I mean, if Dela could just get the lines, like actually get it, that actually is kind of. I mean, there were lots of this sort of geeky rapping stuff that was happening in the '90s, lots of it, and that could work.
Yeah, and that's not the kind of rap I listen to. I listen to like Ice Cube and Snoop Dogg and
Yeah, for sure, but there was sort of a side to it. There was like some kind of nerdy type rapping in the '90s. A little more indie, but
Like Beastie Boys.
no, that would be that would more
That
be
would be
'90s.
80s, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry,
Beastie
'80s.
Boys.
No, I'm thinking like Quasimodo. Um,
I was
this
thinking
is
of Darian rapping reminded me of Blondie and Rapture. Her rap version. Anyone?
come on,
Oh, that's a
Trinity.
good one.
Please, Trinity, remember your lines.
She looks great.
Yes,
Uh-oh.
but they're all struggling remembering their own
Yeah, I
lines that
mean,
they wrote.
the biggest, it's not even like the style or the rapping. It's literally like, did any of you prepare?
Well, it's
And
also
the
like
answer is no.
they wrote it like 30 minutes ago also.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
I feel like it's
All right.
probably a lot of pressure.
I mean, it would all be honey if they could just freestyle like Eminem, but clearly they can't do that.
Well, like Eminem, that's another good example. That's kind of an example of sort of like a nerdy style of rapping that was from the 90s. Kind of nasally, and that could have worked for De La if De La had really just had those lines. Well, please tell me that we're getting something.
I'm nervous. Milk looked nervous. That was
I'm
nice.
not. I'm not going to uh, Google or anything about Trinity until until the season is over. Please don't spoil me on whether or not whether she's still with us. I don't know if that's weird, but I just kind of would like to watch the show sort of just with her here, you know.
Fortunately for people diagnosed now, they can live,
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
like so long and never develop AIDS. It's amazing the strides we've made
Oh
medically
yeah.
for, yeah.
I use
So I
eye
have
makeup
a
is so gorgeous. Sorry, man.
no, it's all right. I have a question. I think in the first episode, I think Elle was the one that said this. That when Rue's coming down the runway, that they're playing her song. Does that song change every season, or is it always the same song?
When Rue's coming down the runway at the beginning, it's been the same.
Okay.
Yeah,
So when the
and
girls come down the runway, it changes every season.
I've watched it so much. I now have the words memorized and I walk around the house singing it and it gets stuck in my husband's head and he's
Cute.
like, "Damn it." It's so fun.
Hey, I wanted to tell you all, one of my best friends in high school, this was 20 years ago, was diagnosed with HIV, and he is doing perfectly fine.
That's
Oh, that's
awesome.
great.
That's
That's
great.
wonderful.
I think that Jocelyn is one of the. I think she's one of the strongest queens this season. That is sort of kind of flies under the radar. She's beautiful, um, just kind of really like her runway outfits are great. My only thing is that she kind of clunks when she walks the runway.
It's very hard step. Yeah.
Very clunky.
I love Trinity's outfit there.
Oh,
Same.
me too. It's one of
Trin-
my favorites.
Trinity is her runway is the strongest part about her about her involvement in the show.
I was gonna say Jocelyn's outfit was like dental floss and a prayer. It was just how
Pretty
was it holding
accurate.
together?
Oh, look at Milk. That's
That was
a
pretty
little
awesome.
different. Yeah.
This looks like Cher with that area.
She loves a sparkly dress. I don't think we've ever seen her do a runway and not wear sparkles.
That's very true. But I think they all like sparkles.
And who doesn't? Sparkles are great.
I don't.
The dress.
I think Bianca looks incredible.
Yes, she does.
Yeah,
She
And and her smile is just pretty incredible.
that gold with her skin color and hair color is just gorgeous.
she looks like she should be a real housewife of New Jersey.
I can see that.
That's pretty accurate.
But then Adore and the weird length again.
What is this? Wasn't as impressed with that with Courtney's.
No, I don't like it.
Oh, this feels 90s. Yikes. Yikes. Yikes.
Bianca picking up the money. That was funny.
Who's your favorite team?
The
Your
first
favorite
one.
crew,
Team, I feel like
hands
the first
down.
one.
Yeah, me
Hands
too. I'm
down.
Yeah,
The
surprised
same.
by that.
Wu-Tang Clan was like leaps and bounds better.
That being said, I feel like Adore's single rap was my favorite of everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
me too.
loved the dog.
I think Jocelyn really killed it.
Jocelyn was my favorite. Was definitely my favorite. Started the whole thing out and it was like, oh, okay, this is right. This works. the the whole second team was just woo.
I think that Bianca did well as Darian was really not good there.
Yeah, Darian was whoa, goodness. I like it.
Why are her lips like 2 shades lighter than her face?
Oh, I was just gonna say that lipstick is a bad choice.
Yeah.
I'm an outlier. I like it. Yeah, like Trinity is just she's her own she's her own worst enemy.
She is.
Good critique.
I'm over Milk's dark lip liner though.
Big time. I really want to see normal lips. I'm just dying to see just one set of normal lips.
I'm
I
actually okay with the dark lip liner for this one because it's 90s.
I feel like Milk is a one-trick pony.
Yeah. Um yeah, Bianca's got this. Could not I couldn't deal with the rap. I didn't like it at all. Interesting. I'm gonna go listen to it after this.
It's a little Courtney Love, her outfit.
Oh
Yeah, I
yeah,
like it.
even the hair.
Yeah.
I'm going to be saying that all week. I wanted to show my body.
She's just so
Any
quick.
predictions on who's going to be in the bottom?
I feel like Darian, but I don't know who the other one will be.
I
Well, I
agree.
already
Trinity.
know because I spoiled myself by watching the next episode instead of this one. So, but I won't tell you.
I feel like they don't like Trinity making excuses or defending herself like during critique.
Because she doesn't just say something and then kind of make a joke and move on. She's like just stays in it and it keeps going.
I just felt like when she's like, I'm not one to make excuses, everyone should have just started laughing because it's literally like every runway.
She just takes herself very seriously, I think.
Yeah, I didn't like Bianca's rap, not one single solitary bit, but her runway was incredible. I think Trinity's going home.
Her lip syncs are really good though, right? Haven't we seen her before?
Yeah.
Yeah,
She does
she's
lip
lip sync.
syncs like
Yeah,
mainly, doesn't she?
Yeah.
wow. So her and Darian, I say, are going up again.
Wow.
I'm
Wow.
surprised.
Oh, wow. Oh man, I think. Okay, I think.
So who do you think is gonna go, John?
I know who's gonna go because I'm.
This is going to be an interesting lip sync, though.
Yeah, that's what
Hmm.
I was thinking.
I mean, this Trinity all day. Like, I don't know. It's just, I don't know what Milk is doing, but
I
This
mean,
she's
is
not
Trin-
lip
like
syncing
Trinity
to this song.
said, this is what she does for a
this is what
living.
she. Yeah, this is what she does. You can't beat her in a lip sync battle. She's gonna have to just continue to just do poorly in challenges until they finally are like until she gets another competitor that's close enough. But her lip syncing is just perfect.
What is Milk doing? He's like hopping.
I've watched so many lip syncs now. I hate it when they throw themselves on the floor. Like, get off the floor. It's dirty.
I understand. Milk is going home.
Melga's done.
Yes, she is.
The milk is spoiled.
Of course you stay.
Trinity is the lip sync assassin.
But what did you say, John? That like whenever they do the thing that they ask them to do is when they go.
Just milking time was so silly.
And thinking outside of the carton, like Rue's
I mean, it's really
goodbye.
it's so much fun. That stuff is very. Milk is definitely one of the most. It's yeah, it's sad. It's like sad. I wasn't sad when Gia left. I was sad when April left. Now I'm sad when Milk left. It's like on and off, on and off. Sad, not sad. Sad, not sad. Now, if Laganja goes in the next one, I won't be sad.
So who would you say are like your top 3?
Top 3. Okay, let's see. Oh, sorry. It just went to the next episode. Top 3. Well, Jocelyn has moved up into my favorites in this last episode, but was already moving into it during Snatch Game. Dayla is still pretty solidly in there. And I think that Adore might be coming up to take Courtney's spot in my top 3. I'm still not there on Bianca. I think that her runway was just flawless, but the rap was just not for me. So I think I think Jocelyn, Dayla, and it's sort of a toss up right now between Adore and Courtney. Courtney didn't impress me this episode at all. Like not in any parts, but she sort of just managed to get by, and Adore impressed me a bit more.
Yeah, I think we really kind of saw Jocelyn come around like in the last episode. Her Snatch Game was kind of underrated. She was really fun.
Completely underrated. Completely underrated. I that's why I said she's been sort of flying under the radar, and it's like at about this point in the series where she started, and I don't know if they're starting to edit her better, like specifically because maybe she comes into her own second half of the season, but I was not. I mean, I'd completely forgotten about her in early episodes. I didn't even really think about her being there at all, but now I think she's one of the most talented. And I mean, I'm sure from a technical standpoint, all of you who know considerable more about fashion than I do are laughing at me when I say this. I freaking loved her runway look. I thought that it was so ridiculous, but at the same time, sexy and unique. And I mean, I know you didn't like that lipstick, but I kind of liked it. It was very weird, but I thought it looked good.
I can honestly say I have never heard anybody else say that about Jocelyn.
I mean, just absolutely covered in cubic zirconia. Just like nothing but just jewels all over. There was something about it that was just weirdly interesting, and also I thought sexy. I didn't think that it looked bad. I mean, I get it that it was like sort of like tooth. What did you say, Hunter? Tooth floss.
Dental floss and a prayer. Yeah.
Dental floss and a prayer. But it seemed put together for what it was trying to be. So that's why I kind of thought it was interesting and cool. Whereas like, like Courtney's was just boring. It was just boring. Also was like, practically wearing nothing. But just extremely boring.
Yeah, it's time for Courtney to really hear that stop relying on that body
Oh
critique.
yeah.
Because
That was
that's
the
gonna
best
take a while.
line when was it Rue that said like you're getting really cliche. You got to fight the cliche thing because it's true. It's
Yeah.
starting. That's why I think she's starting to fall out of my top because she's just relying on pretty standard conventions. And while Milk certainly was like at the absolute far opposite end of that spectrum, um, I think that this is going to hurt Courtney. If my gut tells me it's probably not going to ever be able to. My gut tells me Courtney's not going to really be able to overcome that. That's sort of part of who Courtney is. But Dayla is great, though, right? I don't know.
I love Dayla.
I think Dayla's awesome, and I really liked Dayla's rap. I really did. I thought it was just that quirky like nerd rap, you know.
Yeah, it was really good.
And I thought it was good. It was on beat. It was fun. She looked cool. Um, I was into it. I think that Dayla's going to go far. Um,
My partner
how
found
he
Dayla's rap so cringy that he left the room.
who did?
My partner, he was sat watching with me and
Oh.
he found it so cringy that he was like, I can't watch this, and left.
Yeah, Dayla's pretty cringy, but I
Get
felt
it.
more like the talking head when she was like in the hizzy for shizzy, and it was just really awkward. I was like, oh, Dayla, no, please
Yeah, that
don't.
part is that. Yeah,
It's
but I
very.
just
I mean, she tried, but it's just thing. It's very obvious because it's not in her comfort zone at all, because Dayla is very much a character that kind of, as we've seen from sort of like the runway and some of the character choices, who kind of like skews a little older. And if it was going to be like a time period thing, like more like 50s 60s instead of 90s. So I think within
right.
that realm,
Yeah,
yes, so much better, but you see it's definitely not like something that she would do often.
right, right.
I'm kind of
Didn't
surprised that
didn't bother me
Trinity
as much.
didn't do better, but I think it's because like she just wasn't feeling confident,
Yeah,
and
I'm
like
not
that was
surprised.
obvious
I'm
in
not
the
surprised at all. I'm not
Me
surprised
neither.
at all. Ultimately, Trinity just does not have like performance confidence outside of lip syncing. It's really like it's really true. It's so interesting, but you give her a lip sync and she just kills it. But everything else, she just it looks completely like a deer caught in the headlights.
I think, though, that by far I really liked her runway look more than anybody else's tonight.
Her runway look was really good. I think in general that um, I think Trinity's got one of the strongest runways. Um, she just knows how to walk really, really well, and she knows how to put together a really amazing, flattering outfit for herself. Like Jocelyn's weak spot is she really has a hard time walking the runway. Like she's constantly stomping as she's walking.
I wonder if it's because I wonder if she learned or taught herself during a time when that was like popular. Because for a while that was the thing, like when models were going down the runway and stuff, it was like the
Oh,
stomp.
the stomp. Okay, you know what? I'm seeing it now. You're right. There is a stomp style, isn't there?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. I take that back. I still think that there's something a little awkward about the way that Jocelyn walks, but I could see that's her inspiration. She's like, a hard step-in model.
We should trademark that.
Hard step-in model.
Yeah. Okay, I think Dela was kind of my top favorite, but now Bianca, Dela, and Adore are my. Courtney has faded for me.
I can see that. I mean, it's happening to me as well. And there, I don't know. What's your take on Adore? Is she playing dumb? Is that like her shtick?
I
Like
don't
to
think she was.
just
I don't think at
be
this point she
completely
was playing
dumb?
dumb. I think she's really young, and
Yeah, I think it's naive.
yeah, I think she well, and I think that one of the things that people talk about on this show, um, especially like if you know the show and you understand the structure of it, right? They have to bring all. I mean, a lot of reality shows are like this, but like they have to bring all of these outfits ahead of time, and they might find out without that much time before that they were picked and that they have to go on the show. And it really does depend a lot on your financial situation and your resources, like what you're able to do. So the thing about like the gown length, she might be really tall, and when you add heels to that, a lot of anything off the rack is going to kind of hit her at a weird spot. And Bianca is a seamstress. She's a costume designer by trade, and so she makes all of her own stuff. So like your skills and your material kind of like assets at the time when you get on the show, I think affect a lot of like your initial outcome. And you can go far with like your charisma and your talent, but as far as like the runways and stuff like that, sometimes certain people and past contestants have mentioned, yeah, I was just kind of broke and couldn't bring as much as some other girls could.
Yeah, and like with Adore, like she really was a baby drag queen at this time, and this has come up a couple times. A lot of what Adore brought to Drag Race was given to her by former Drag Race contestants. Like specifically one that Adore mentioned previously a few years ago, um, was a drag queen who at the time went by Sonique, now goes by Kylie. But she gave Adore a bunch of drag that didn't fit Adore because they wasn't
Wasn't
made
made
for
for it. It
her.
wasn't made for it.
It was a complete. They have completely different bodies types, right? So Adore was doing what she could with what she had, which is kind of why it also kind of stands out, because she's so much taller. And so, like, that's why, like, the gowns are going to be an awkward length. She's not a sewer, so it's not like she can adjust things kind of quickly. So that kind of is a disadvantage. But I think she's able to sell it more than maybe others who probably would have, already been eliminated.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just more commenting on this persona that she has during the interview sequences that is sort of like a little, I wouldn't call it
No,
naive.
also I think
It
she's just from Southern California.
okay.
She's from Azusa. She'll cut a bitch. That's a line
Do
she
That's
people
said
in
in
too
this
Azusa,
sweet.
episode,
do
and I
folks in
think you
Azusa
missed
do
it.
that? I won't venture into Azusa then.
I gotta say, that's where she won me over for good. That whole ITM, as it were. Um where she said, I spit whatever she said. I just laughed
Ill
so
shit on the
hard.
daily.
Yes, that was what it was. It was so funny. And I was like, and I'm your number one fan. Like, that's great.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely a high point episode for Adore. So much so that I really think that the ankle thing was just that was just nitpicking. They were very happy with with her in this episode, and I'm feeling like she's probably gonna be she's potentially a finalist. I hope a finalist with Dela, if she's a finalist. Right now, I'm certainly open to. I'm open to changing that opinion.
Wait, who do you hope is in there with they?
Um, Adore.
Okay, I
Oh
like
no,
Adore.
I'm hoping. I'm thinking Adore is starting to feel like Adore is finalist material. Like I'm just feeling the tone of the show. I'm feeling the like the attention to the character, the amount of interview sequences. Uh, she's feeling like the show's already prepping the audience for when she's a finalist.
See,
I could be I could be totally wrong.
I felt that for Bianca because they finally like her interview was just her talking and about Trinity and how proud she was of her and they showed a nice moment with her. So I was like, okay, we finally are getting like an interview and interaction with her that isn't just snarky. Even though I loved her before
Yeah.
because I love that personality, but it was a nice moment.
Yeah, it was that. I mean, I'll definitely give that. The moment was better.
I'm
Um, there was still a little bit of silly snark in there in Bianca,
Oh yeah.
today. The sandwich, the sandwich line, like for about Darian.
yeah,
I mean,
it was not kind.
so, but I agree. I agree that Dela does it does. I do feel like probably the editing is also seems to be suggesting that perhaps we're looking at like a Bianca going pretty far in this. But the editing is feeling like, for me, just focusing on Adore here for a second, the editing, the amount of time, the personality that we're starting to get to know, um, is seems to be suggesting at this point that Adore goes far in this race. Um, and I don't and that could mean like finalists, like final two. And I'm just saying, like, if it is final two, I am hoping that it's Adore and Dela at this point, because those are my two favorite,
So,
or those
seeing
are
as
two favorite.
how like the kind of praise that Adora got in this episode and obviously winning the challenge, I'm curious like how everybody feels. I mean, I felt like so crushed when not crushed because I didn't think that it was just, but Laganja's face when she's told that she's safe, and obviously how we started the whole episode after her being in the bottom and just feeling like she's not used to seeing other people, and she says especially Adore do well or do better than her. um I'm not sure how she's gonna handle this.
I'm I Laganja is just about as far down the list for me as you can get. Like, I really don't think I have to be reminded of Laganja at this point. I'm just not thinking about her in the competition.
Yeah, I agree. I forget she's
It
And I
bothers
don't
me
know
when the
why. I don't know if
queens.
it's because of the distaste for her personality, or if it's that just she's not doing anything that is interesting enough for me to remember. But
It bothers me that she's like never happy for the other queens. Like the rest of them are really, good sports, and then she's just like really jealous and
Yeah, she's too competitive, like, and too focused on herself.
yeah. Yeah, I get. Yeah, that's definitely what it is. That's definitely what it is. That I've sort of turned off because of that. Like, I'm just like, I don't really want to focus on that kind of behavior.
I'm sorry, I was busy dropping the memento. Um,
Oh no!
but I was just
Oh no!
nice.
did I miss some? Were we talking about a line or one of the reads that one of the queens made against Darian that people didn't like? I thought I heard something about that.
Yeah, the sandwich. I didn't. Yeah, that Bianca was like, she's not. Darian's not thinking about much. Thinking about a sandwich.
Oh,
I
okay.
was like,
Oh.
I had just a little fun fact about the reading challenge, and so Jocelyn was really funny. And Jocelyn's read, that she said to Darian about the flat surface, reverse cowgirl in the toilet. She has flat surface eat off of, was actually given to her by Darian to use as a read against her.
That's funny.
Darian is that like Darian just gave Queens lines to use for the reading challenge about herself. That's just the kind of queen Darian is. And I just thought I'd mention that.
I feel like that makes me feel a little bit better because a lot of the reads against Darian were like about her body type, which bothers me. It feels like lazy or fat phobia.
It does, but it also
Yep.
says they have nothing else to say about her. She's just nice. So that's all they can.
who?
There's usually like it happens a lot with some of like the larger queens, and there was one queen in a later season who, after she does her reading thing, she's like, and I can't wait to hear all the jokes about how fat I am, and just like walks away
And
because
then
everyone
just,
laughs
yeah,
because it's like
just like,
you're in on the joke at this point, right? It's and
oh,
I
it's
feel like
awesome because she just disarmed all of them.
yeah, and I feel like that's kind of like Darian feels very confident and very self-assured, so it's like she's not gonna let this affect her, as some of the other queens took some of the other reads that were maybe not even very harsh or even very personal, but took them personally
Oh, yeah.
because of how their personalities are, thinking mostly of Laganja. But